Hi, I'm Sarah J Maas. I'm the author of the Throne of Glass series, and I am here today to talk about my upcoming fantasy series, A Court of Thorns and Roses, out spring 2015. And I actually began writing A Court of Thorns and Roses years and years ago, I think back in 2009, and it started off as a Beauty and the Beast retelling, where Beauty is a huntress and the Beast figure is this shape-shifting, really sexy fairy lord. And over the years that I worked on A Court of Thorns and Roses, it actually became its own original fantasy series set in this world where humans and fairies, called the Fae, coexist, but long ago, the humans actually used to be enslaved to the fairies as kind of their working force. And there was a great and terrible war 500 years before the book begins that basically ended in a truce between the two worlds and a physical wall separating half of the world. So the north went to the fairies, the south went to the humans. And for 500 years, their worlds have been separated, bound by the terms of this magical treaty that was forged between all the fairies and the human leaders. And when the story begins, Feyre, my heroine, is this young huntress who has been forced to hunt because her merchant class family has fallen upon hard times, and her father's kind of useless, and she basically has the choice of either hunt and keep her family alive or starve to death. So she's been hunting for years, trying to keep her family alive, and one day she's in the woods and is hunting a deer, and this giant wolf appears also wanting to eat this deer, and she makes the choice to kill the wolf because she desperately needs that food for her family. So she kills the wolf, not realizing that the wolf is actually a fairy, and that night a giant horrible beast bursts into her cottage, demanding her life in exchange for the life that she took by killing that wolf fairy. And she's offered a kind of loophole where she can either be slaughtered by this giant horrible beast, or she can come live with him across the wall in Fairy, basically giving her life to the land by leaving her human life behind. And since she would rather not die, she decides to go live with this giant beast in his fairy estate. So she says goodbye to her horrible, miserable family and goes across the wall into Fairy, which is a deadly, really dark, awful land that has basically been designed to kill humans. And she is very much a lamb amongst wolves there. But as soon as she gets to Fairy, she realizes it's not as horrible as legends have made her believe. And this horrible beast is actually a shapeshifter. And his name is Tamlin, and he's very attractive and broody. And then all of her adventures unfold, and she realizes that all is not as it seems in Fairy and on Tamlin's beautiful estate, and that the fate of the entire human world actually might rest on what's happening at this one estate. So there is adventure and lots of romance, and another complex, interesting heroine who I actually love quite dearly. And I'm really excited for readers to meet Feyre and to meet Tamlin and the rest of the characters. And I'm working on book 2 right now, and excited for that.